The town thought I was invincible. Truth is, the badge on my chest felt less like honor and more like a shackle. I never wanted this job. Hell, I never even wanted the responsibility. But when the last sheriff died in his sleep, the county looked straight at me, the boy who had once sworn he'd never stay in this godforsaken place. And then Ethan Keller walked in. Reporter. Outsider. Sharp tongue, sharper eyes. The kind of man who didn't just see through you, he wrote it down and published it for the world. I should have hated him. But my heart, my traitorous, restless heart didn't seem to care. Ethan came to cover a small-town corruption case, the kind of mess that had lingered in the shadows for decades. He wasn't here for me. But damn if every word out of his mouth didn't sound like a challenge. Every glance didn't make me question where the line between suspicion and attraction blurred. The first time we clashed was in my office. He accused me of protecting old family friends. I told him he didn't know a damn thing about loyalty in this town. His jaw tightened, his eyes burned, and for a second I swore he'd kiss me instead of storm out. Couldn't sleep that night. I told myself it was the case, the politics, the weight of carrying a badge I never wanted. But I knew better. It was Ethan. Always Ethan. Growing up here, I'd learned fast what people whispered about men like me, men who looked a little too long at another man, who felt something they couldn't admit. I'd buried it deep, wore the uniform, kept my head down. But Ethan didn't let me hide. He had this way of asking questions that weren't just about the case. They were about me, about what I wanted, about who I was. One evening, after chasing leads that left us both covered in dust and sweat, we found ourselves alone in my truck. The radio crackled low, static filling the silence. His hand brushed mine on the gearshift, barely a touch, but it lit me up like wildfire. I pulled away, jaw tight, heart racing so hard I thought he'd hear it. "You're terrified of yourself," he said softly. Not cruel, not mocking, just true. I snapped back, because anger was safer than honesty. But his words stayed. They burned. The investigation grew darker. Ethan uncovered names that mattered, names tied to the people who'd made me sheriff in the first place. I begged him to back off, to let it go before it swallowed him whole. But he wasn't built that way. He wanted the truth even if it killed him. And when someone tried to run him off the road one night, headlights bearing down on his little car, it damn near killed me. I was the one who found him shaken on the side of the highway, blood at his temple, his hands trembling too hard to hold his pen. I held him then. No pretense, no excuse. Just held him. His head against my chest, his breath hot through my shirt, the scent of him, ink, coffee, danger cut straight through my defenses. And for the first time, I let myself wonder if maybe love was worth burning everything else to the ground. But fear is a stubborn thing. Even as I wanted him, I still tried to keep him at arm's length. Until the night he showed up at my door, rain-soaked, eyes blazing. "You can't have it both ways, Sheriff," he said, voice raw. "Either you want me or you don't. But I'm not here to be your secret." I'd never hated the truth more, and I'd never loved the man speaking it so fiercely. The climax came fast. The corruption case exploded, dragging half the county into scandal. My badge was threatened, my family name dragged through the mud. And right in the middle of it all, Ethan, with his stubborn courage and relentless words. We fought side by side, exposed the rot that had been festering for years. And in the quiet aftermath, when the dust settled and the world finally stopped spinning, I found him waiting at the steps of the courthouse. No notebook, no accusations. Just Ethan with that half-smile that always made me weak. "I'm still here," he said simply. So was I. But I wasn't the same man anymore. I wasn't just the sheriff who never wanted the job. I was a man who'd nearly lost the one thing he'd never dared to admit he wanted. I stepped closer, close enough to feel his breath, close enough to see the way his lashes caught the sunlight. And this time I didn't pull away. The kiss was everything I'd been running from: fierce, tender, terrifying, and inevitable. The kind of kiss that told me there was no going back. Now, when the town whispers, they don't just whisper about corruption or politics. They whisper about me and Ethan, about the sheriff and the journalist who dared to love each other in a place that wasn't ready. Let them talk, because I never wanted to be sheriff. But I wanted him, and that's the only truth that's ever mattered. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.